Lesson 2.2, if-then statements. There's our learning target. It's on here as well. It'll be on the board. Write if-then statements and give instances where they're true and counterexamples where they're not true. You don't need to write that down. Okay? You can if you want, but it's basically going to be the same thing that's right here on the board. So feel free. That's your choice as far as notes go. Okay? There's two parts to an if-then statement. You can't see this totally here because I'm zoomed in. There's a proposition and an implication. Okay, so it goes if the proposition, then the implication. All right, here we go. Okay, so a conditional, guys, for conditional, all you really need to write down is it's an if-then statement. Okay, a conditional is an if-then statement. Yes, it's a sentence that begins, bless you, with if and ends with then, but any if-then statement is a conditional. Okay? Instance. What is an instance? It's a specific case where the if part is true and the then part is true. So it goes true, comma, true. The if part's true and the then part's true, and I'll show you what I mean by that in a minute here. Okay? But an instance, I'm going to have to figure out this bar here. We're going to have to move that thing. Here, let's try this. How do you like that? That's what you were trying to tell me a minute ago, weren't you? Okay. So instance, just if true, then true. Okay? And a counterexample, folks, is, see, it moved back on me. There we go. A counterexample goes if true, then false. If true, then false. A couple symbols here. I'm going to slide this over real quick. Whoops. Get this slid over. We'll get to the practice here in a second. Symbols that you guys need to know. First one is this arrow. All right? That means implies. Okay? So I want you to write it in your notes. Just like you see it, it's got two lines. It kind of looks like an equal sign that then you go and put an arrow on one side. So that means implies. All right? So if you see P, that arrow Q, that means P implies Q. Okay? Which also means if P, then Q. Okay? If P, then Q. The next one down is a double-sided arrow. Okay? So now you have it on both sides. Okay? And what that is if and only if. Okay? P if and only if Q. Okay? So P is true if and only if Q is true.